Incoming transmission.
Good, good day, wonders. We meet again. This has been quite interesting. Um, I've been feeling a lot more active, so we just gonna roll with this. We just gonna jump right into it. I know I don't have my intros, I don't have all that other good stuff, but again, we're just gonna jump right into it because as these thoughts hit me, I just need to get them out. And as an artist, sometimes I can get so caught up in my head that sometimes I will sit on my thoughts, and then by the time I get everything together and then the way I want to customize it and the way I want to put it out, the next thing I know the time has passed and it no longer hits the same, or it doesn't, or I don't feel like it has the value that I needed it to have. So for the sake of impact, I am just releasing this shit and just this is what it is. And this is the very thing that I will be talking about today is the magic of being an artist. I had a show yesterday with a bunch of my friends who are also my label mates, which is awesome. And we had a time last night. Well, yesterday, because it wasn't quite last night. It was more in the afternoon, but we had a time. And one of the things that I am noticing about myself and my journey, I'm beginning to evolve. And the way I used to perform is not the way I perform now. So, and I really came to this conclusion yesterday when I was trying to find the pocket for myself and I couldn't. I still feel like I gave a really good performance, but at the end of the day, I was like, ooh, there's a shift. And just like how I think I stated this in the other podcast episode, I guess you can say, the other day, when I discussed kind of this evolution of me seeing myself. If I haven't explained that, the other night I was in the house and I was just kind of walking around and I could feel like something was shifting in the air. I felt like there was some type of, like, I felt like I was watching myself even though I was present in the moment. Very crazy, very weird, but I knew something was changing. Something was shifting. And this had soon followed after I, when we had our rehearsal for the show that we had yesterday, which was Saturday, June 6th. Don't know when this will be up, but yes. So yesterday it hit me, and I know. Okay, so I sang my song "Lover" as the first song. The set was split up, so I didn't do the songs back to back. And so my style is changing. The way I want to express myself is changing, and I'm very comfortable in it. But what I'm not quite comfortable is the way that people will start to stare at me differently, as if to be like, especially men staring at me like he has the audacity to wear this like wide leg flowy pant, like what the hell. And I have glitter in my hair and I have all of these different things that make me feel like the celestial energy that I am. And I feel I'm having so much fun expressing myself in all of these nuances that I never had the courage to do before, or so many people around me were dictating how my appearance should be, so I never had the freedom to explore what gave me joy. You know what I mean? So yesterday, while I was performing, I could see those and feel. And that's one thing being a Cancer, man. I feel energy shifts. And so I could feel the eyes peering at me, and it threw me off during the first part of my song. And I was like, no. By the second verse, I was like, man, fuck it. I am going to do what I do and how I do it. And at first I didn't know exactly what had happened, what was changing my energy. But that's what it was. And then by the time the second song came on, I was like, this is me. I performed Outclass afterwards, and I was like, this is me. This is what I love to do. I am the magician archetype, and I am leaning into that, and I am having fun doing so. And that's what it is. That's what being an artist is all about. recently, I had a deeper discussion with the topic that I was discussing with everybody yesterday. Last time, um, about the difference between being a singer and being an artist, and how those are two different things. Singers sing. They practice that on that level. It is it's a joy for them to just sing. There's not the creativity comes from just connecting to people and varying that. When it comes down to being an artist, you're looking at a more intricate palette, and you're ready to dive into the appearance of what the music sounds like, or how you want this to be engineered, or the effects that you want on your voice, and how you want your lyrics to be written and your music to flow, and then how you need it to be mixed, and how you want it to be presented on stage and on digital, and how and visually. And when it comes to a music video, you have these ideas and you know exactly who you are. You're not just like pulling from so much from these other places to kind of create this thing. You have an idea of what and how your art wants to be expressed. It's just like a painter. Like, you go and you look at that blank canvas and you have this idea of the colors that you want to use, whether if it's oil or water-based paint, and you know exactly what you're painting and why you're painting, and why you decided to do a left stroke instead of a right stroke, and why you decided to use a particular paintbrush, because you knew that that was going to give the energy to the piece to convey the feelings that you wanted to capture. And so that is the artistry. That is the essence. That is the beauty of being an artist. And again, we as artists reflect the times, and there is this thing, I feel, that is in frequency, that is in the atmosphere, about people understanding who they are and being brave enough to be that, especially in a time where there are so many different opinions on how you should be and what you should be. Um, there's a freedom in that, and I think people are taking more liberties in what they look like. As you Even if you walk down a street anywhere, like, people are using more colors in their hair, and dressing oddly, or men are exploring more feminine fashion senses, more feminine fashion sense, I should say, and women are taking these really brave approaches with infusing like this, like with like goth and earthy, and all of these different looks. Like, people are using this. If you ever just sit down and just look, people are using this as a sense of comfort, as a sense of exploration, to say that you will not dictate how I live my life. You will not dictate who I am, and you will not tell me who to be. And I feel like us as artists, we are definitely reflecting that time, whether we know it or not. With so much going on, especially in our governments and in the world today, there is this sense of oppression, of you are not in order if you are doing this in a particular way that is outside of someone else's belief. And I think, again, this is the artist expressing themselves and showing that we can be whatever the fuck we want to be, do whatever the fuck we want to do, and be able to present joy and find peace in the moment of chaos. So yesterday, I say all of that to say that I have been realizing that I am evolving. And even though I am comfortable in my own skin and in my own mindset, now I need to just get used to how people are going to now look at me, how they are going to perceive me, what that energy is going to feel like, and understand that, that's you, buddy. That's you. It ain't got shit to do with me, because I'm having a good time over here. I'm also, one of the other things that I'm learning is that my body is starting to change in its movement, and I love it. Yes, I'm getting older, and one would say, maybe because you're getting older, you're not as flexible and limber as you used to be. Nah, it's not quite that because I still got mega knees. So thank God. But at the same time, my body is moving in a different way. It's flowing with like this like sense of water, with this sense of air and breath and sorry, my computer just like paused and I didn't know if it was recording. This has been sidebar. This has been a thing lately with me with technology. Every time I want to put some thoughts down, something happens with technology to where it stops me, and I feel like the universe is testing me to make sure that I still push through, and I am. I am. So we're going to conclude. Um, yeah, so my body is evolving in how it's expressing itself along with the image of myself, and this is exciting. This is exciting, and I feel like, again, this is the artist journey. This is I feel like I am beyond my warrior phase now. Like I've fought through all of these demons, all of these different things. I mean, I still need therapy. I'm still on the search for a therapist, but I've fought through these things, and for the most part, and I'm finding my ground of what this looks like now. And at the end of the day, I know that I express myself a lot where I say that, I'm finding myself, or I'm exploring, or I'm journeying, because life is a continuous journey, and I want people to kind of understand that, if we're not evolving or if we're not growing, we are dead. So you should be evolving, you should be changing, you should be exploring new ventures, you should be tapping into new knowledge, you should be tapping into new inspiration, you should be wanting to listen to new music and see what's happening. You should be wanting to, visit other countries, and there's still so much life to live, regardless of what your age is, regardless of what restrictions you might have. There is still so much life to live, and whatever that looks like for you. So even as an artist, we should be always evolving. We should always be growing. We should always be aiming to learn more. We should always be a student. I don't claim to know it all at all. But I like that yesterday also, as a tidbit, I got a kick out of seeing what I do inspire others. So the crew that I'm with, Natural City Music, we have a bunch of artists. It is an amazing venture. But at the same time, there's a lot of growth that needs to happen for all of us. But we had our rehearsals, and me being a little bit more of a seasoned performer with still things to learn, was able to give some advice to all the other artists that are on the catalog. And it was amazing to actually see all of those notes be embodied and be comfortable, and to see their excitement, and to see them feel even more like the artist that they want to be. That was quite amazing. And I am beginning to read this book. I don't have it in front of me. Oh my gosh. It is called The Time War. Crap, it's not in front of me. And I can't even think of the author. It's two authors. If you know what I'm talking about, it is a blue canary and a blue jay that is on the cover, and they look somewhat distorted, like the pictures are not even. But it's like the journey, the war, the something of the Time War. It is an amazing book so far. I'm halfway through it. It's a really short read, but I've been doing it in pieces because I'm in doing other things. Plus, I'm a bit of a slow reader, but we won't go there. But one of the things that I'm taking from it already is the fact that it's these two agents that are going through a time war. They're defending their agencies that are trying to control the timelines. And so there are these agents that are jumping through all of these different threads of time, making sure that, you know, there's one interaction that will change the course of time, that will keep their particular companies living and in control, which kind of got me thinking of the importance of being an artist. Because when you sit down and think about it, you have no idea what your music and who you are and your expression and how that is going to set the course for some individual, some other individual out there that's looking for you, that's looking to be inspired by you. That just the fact of you releasing that song or you doing that particular interview changes the course for someone else, and how important we are. And I recently read somewhere that the artist is the most dangerous person on the planet because of the power of influence that they have. More than governments, more than marketing, more than all of these other things, more than kings and queens, emperors and presidents and all kinds of other things like this. An artist has a power of influence that is beyond any other. And the people can be swayed and moved by them. So if you are an artist that is listening and, you know, number one, you're having trouble or you're delaying putting something out, or you're delaying, you know, your own expression and your own movement just because you're overthinking it. And we do that. We become the mad scientists and we overthink it and we go, are people ready? Is it perfect? Is it this? Is it this? Because we're so concerned. You know, we get influenced by social media now. We get influenced by the idea of perfection that other artists might present, or even our faves. But at the end of the day, it's not about that. It is about what you have to bring to this world and how important that is. So I want to say right now, if you are an artist, put the shit out. Stop overthinking. Just like with this, like listen, put it out. Put it out. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And if no one is interviewing you and no one is seeking your attention, force yourself out there. Do your own goddamn interviews. Do your own performances online. Do everything yourself the way that you can and the way that you know how. It doesn't have to be super, super artistic and all of these different things. Your expression, your art is going to be exposed, and watch what happens. You're going to find this little niche within yourself and you're going to go, you know what? I like when I sit by this stream of water and I begin to write my songs. For some reason, all of a sudden the thoughts come faster, and then you take out your phone and you start recording that. That is artistry already, because you're letting people into your process. You're letting them into your joy and why you love it. Then the next thing you know, it becomes a thing. That interview that you decided to do yourself winds up being that very quote that's somewhere in one of the lines that you say that inspires somebody else, that also helps change the world. Or decides that they want to be a governor or a doctor or something because of the words you said. And now you have set them on the course that's going to enable others to be healed and touched by them. We don't understand our influence. We don't understand our influence and our power and how important it is for us to get out there. These signals are all around us, and we have these gifts for a reason and for a purpose, and God is sitting there waiting for us to walk in that purpose, because it is so beneficial for someone else too as well, as much as it is for us, because it is very healing for us. But at the same time, it is very much a healing factor for someone else. So move. There's this part in this book that I'm reading where it is I think it was the character Red that discusses that in this particular cavern, there is a whistle of wind that is going to hit the ears of one of the pilgrims, which is going to then inspire him as a sign from his God to build this kind of like temple or house that is going to stand the test of time, which is going to bring shelter to endangered women, which is also going to inspire a movement. And this home was going to last 200 years, built upon this mountain somewhere. And she had a mission to make sure that he heard this particular whistle, this particular wind, this particular sound that inspired that. That is incredible. I read that and I was jaw dropped. And it automatically made me think of artistry, and how powerful and impactful we are. We never know. We never know. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I'm going to be out of here. I love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. I don't know when the next one is. I'm not even thinking about, having some type of schedule with all of this. It's too much. I'm a little too busy. My job is overwhelming. I don't have time for all of that. When it comes to me, it will drop. So just listen out. I love y'all, and know that I'm over here being really creative, and I can't wait to put some stuff out for y'all. I love y'all. Y'all continue to be artists and be the most incredible, impactful artist that you can, not only for yourself, but for someone else, and live in your liberation of what that art looks like to you and be unapologetic about it. All right, I'm out.